Hello guys, welcome back to Peak Time Learners. In this section, I'm going to discuss about Introduction to C Programming, which will be useful for your LBS entrance examinations conducted in Kerala for MCA admissions. So before moving into Introduction to C Programming, everyone should know what a computer language is and the purpose of developing a computer language. So, take an example in everyday life to communicate with people. We used to communicate with different peoples, right? Both of us should know a particular language, then only the conversations become effective. So, likewise, in computer also, we should have to know a particular language that the computer understands and replaces effectively. So, in order to communicate with the computer systems, different types of computer languages are developed. In 1940s, only machine language is developed, and machine language is nothing but zeros and ones. It is the only natural language the computer system understands. So in 1914, machine languages are used to communicate with the computer system. But it is very hard to beginners to learn this machine language and communicate with the computer, and it is machine dependent. So a program written in one machine will not be executable in other machine. So it will be very difficult for the beginners and other non-technical peoples to understand the machine language and communicate with the system. So in order to overcome these shortcomings, assembly languages are developed in 1950. Assembly language is nothing but mnemonic codes. We use mnemonic codes to communicate with the computer system. Mnemonic codes are English like short forms. As compared to machine language, it is easy, but for non-technical people and others, it is very difficult to understand and learn every mnemonic codes to communicate with the system. So to overcome these, high level languages are developed in 1960. High level language is nothing but we use English like languages to communicate with the system. So there are two types of languages. One is low level language and the other one is high level language. Low level language is divided into two, that is machine language and symbolic or assembly languages. Already I said in the starting, machine language is the only language the computer can understand directly. So we don't want any translators to convert this machine language. Through machine language, we are communicating directly with the computer system. In other languages like assembly language and high level language, we need some translators to convert these languages to machine language. Translators are used to translate assembly language or high level language to machine language. There are three types of translators we use. First one is compiler, second one is interpreter, and the third one is assembler. Compiler is used to convert the high level language into machine language, and interpreter is also used to convert the high level language to machine language. Both do the same work, but the difference is compiler converts the high level language to machine language in one step, but the interpreter converts a high level language to machine language line by line. It is the only difference between compiler and interpreter. And the third one is assembler. Assemblers are used to convert or translate the assembly language to machine language. So in assembly language we use assembler to translate, and in high level languages we use compiler and interpreter. So now let us move on to introduction to C programming. C language is a general purpose programming language, and it is developed by Dennis Ritchie in the year 1972. We can expect a question from this, like who developed the C programming language, or who developed B language or BCPL language, and the year. So this is very important. Just remember these years and the name of the developer. So C language is developed by Dennis Ritchie in the year 1972. Before C languages, there are two languages, that is BCPL. BCPL meaning basic combined programming language, and the next one is B language. BCPL language is developed by Martin Richards in the year 1967, and the B language is developed by Ken Thompson in the year 1970. C programming is developed by taking the major concepts from BCPL and the B languages. So now let us see the features of C language. C language is closely associated with the Unix operating system. So Unix operating system is developed using C language, and the source code for the Unix operating system is in C, and C runs in a number of operating systems including MS-DOS. In the starting, only Unix operating system is developed by C programming, but now different various operating systems are developed using this C language. And C programs are highly efficient, fast, and highly portable. That is, if we write a C program in one computer, it can be run without any modification in the other computer also, so it is highly portable. Next, C language is a middle level language. So C language is a middle level language. It combines the features of high level language and the functionalities of assembly language. So this is why C language is called as middle level language. Next one is C is a structural language, and structured language facilitates the development of a variety of programs in small modules or functions. Lengthy programs can be divided into shorter programs. The next one is C is also called a system programming language because it is greatly helpful for writing operating systems, interpreters, editors, compilers, database programs. So you can expect a question from features of C language. It is important, and the developer of C language and from where the basic concepts are taken. It also very important for LBS entrance examination. Next one is algorithm. Algorithm is the step-by-step instructions used for solving a problem. For example, if you are going to write a program to add two numbers, then we have to, before writing the source code, we need to have a rough idea or what we have to do step by step. After each step, what we are going to do from the start to the end. This is algorithm, that is step by step instructions. So here are some examples. The first one is an algorithm to find the average of three numbers. So everyone knows how to find average, right? Average sum of total observations divided by total number of observations. So here is the algorithm. In every algorithm, the first step should be start and the last step should be end. So here in the step 0, either we can start from step 0 or step 1, that is our wish. So here in step 0 they started, and the first step, first they inputted the first variable A. In next step they inputted the second number, that is variable B, and the third step they inputted the third number. And in the fourth step they are computing what A plus B plus C is, and the fifth step they are computing the average sum by 3, and the sixth step they are displaying in the average, and the seventh step they are ending the process. This is the simple algorithm. And the second example is algorithm to divide one number by another and find the quotient. As usual, they are in the step 0 they are starting, and in the step 1 they are inputting the first number and assigning it to variable A, and in the second step they are inputting the second number and assigning it to the variable B, and in the third step they are checking a condition if B equal to 0 or not. Then if B not equal to 0, they are finding the quotient and displaying it, and ending the if, and the final step they are ending the program. This is some of the examples of algorithm. Next one is flowchart. Flowchart is nothing but a graphical representation of algorithm. In algorithm we are writing step by step, right? Step 1, step 2, step 3. But in flowchart we use some symbols to represent the flow of the program, and it is the graphical representation of algorithm. So in this the symbols are important. There is a chance of getting a question from this. So first symbol is oval, and its name is terminal symbol. This symbol is used to mark the beginning and end of a flowchart. And the second one is parallelogram, and it is used for input, as it is used as input or output box, and this box is used to represent input operation or output operation. And the third symbol is rectangle, and it is the process box. This box is used to represent processing operations. And the fourth one is a diamond symbol with arrow marks. That is, it is the decision box. The diamond shaped symbol is used to represent conditional statement constructs. Each such box has two exit points, which corresponds to the evaluation of the condition to true or false. And the next one is circle. It is called connector, intra-page connector, and this symbol is used to transfer the flow of control from one point to another within a page. And the next one is off-page connector. This is a symbol of off-page connector. An off-page connector is used to transfer the flow of control from one point to another, one point on a page to another point on a different page. And the last one is arrowed lines. These are used to show the sequence of flow from one box to another box. So these are some important symbols and their descriptions. So you can expect a question from this. And the next one we have a example diagram to find the average of three numbers taken as input from the user. So already we learned the algorithm for the same question. Now I'm showing only the flow chart. First step, they are starting, and second step they are inputting A, and the third step input B, and the fourth step input C, and then they are computing the sum, and then they are computing the average, and finally they are displaying and ending the process. This is nothing but the graphical representation of algorithm. In algorithm we are mentioning it by step 1, step 2, step 3, and here we are representing it diagrammatically. Structure of C program. So first one, in C programming, first one should be the command line. Command line is optional, and the second one is preprocessor directive. Then comes the global variable declaration, then the main function. Inside the main function with local variables and statements, and finally user defined functions. So this is the basic structure of a C language program. Let us discuss one by one. First one is command line. Command line. In C programming we can give command by in C programming we can do commands, and the command section is non-executable. It will not be executed while running the program. So command, the syntax for command line is /*. Then we have to give the commands or name of the program or whatever we want, and the last is close it by */. And these command lines are used for increasing the readability of the program. Command line is used for increasing the readability of the program, and it is useful in explaining the program and generally used for documentation. So next one is preprocessor directive. Preprocessor directive is #include. In every program there will be a preprocessor directive. For example, #include stdio.h. So everyone is, I think everyone are familiar with this #include stdio.h. It means it tells the compiler to add a particular library function, from the library. That is #include. Hash is the preprocessor directive, and include means it directs the compiler to add, and then comes the file name stdio.h. stdio.h is standard input output header file. So it tells a compiler to include the standard input output library function from the library, and it includes the whole function while executing the program. And there are many preprocessor directive or many functions. Next one is the global declaration section, and in this section we declare global variables. Global variables are accessed by all the functions used in the program, and it should be declared outside. So global declaration section is used to declare global variables. And then comes the main function. In every C programming there should be at least one function, that is a main function, and the execution starts from this main function. The main function can be anywhere in the program, but in general practice it is placed in the first position. And we have to know the difference between void main and int main. In void main we will not return any values, but in int main we will return a value. For example, return 1 or return 0. The return value instructs the compiler that the processor has finished. Next one is source code. Source code, it is a fundamental component of a computer program, and it is created by a programming. If I am writing the program, I am creating the source code. Actually, I am creating the source code, and it can be read and easily understood by the human being, and it is written in any of the high level languages. And the next one is object code. Object code is the output of a compiler after it processes the source code. And the object code is usually a machine code, also called a machine language, which can be understood directly by a specific type of CPU. And the next one is executable file. It is also called binary file. It is the output of a linker after it processes the object code. And the next one is identifiers. Identifiers are nothing but these are the names used to identify variables, arrays, functions, or structures, etc. And identifiers is just a name to identify variables or arrays or functions. There are some naming rules for identifiers, and you can expect a question from this section. So identifiers name should only consist of alphabets, both upper and lower cases are allowed, digits and underscore. Special characters are not allowed to name identifier. And the next one is first character should be alphabet or underscore. Next one, name should not be a keyword. Keywords are nothing but reserved words by the compiler. Every keyword have its own meaning. We should not use keywords as identifier name. Next one, C is case sensitive. So uppercase and lowercase considered differently. For example, a code capital letter CODE and capital letter C, small letter ODE are entirely different. C is a case sensitive programming language. And the last one is identifiers are generally given in some meaningful name such as value, net salary. So for what we are giving a name, it should be meaningful. Next one is C tokens. Tokens are the smallest unit in a program or statement, and the compiler identifies them as tokens. Tokens are classified in the following types. Different types of tokens are keywords, variables, operators, constants, special characters, and strings. And the keywords are reserved by the compiler. There are 32 keywords according to ANSI standard. And the next one is variable. Variable are user defined. Any number of variable can be defined. And then constants. Constants are assigned to variables. Next one is operators. Operators are of different types and are used in expressions. Special characters. These characters are used in different declarations in C. And last one is strings, a sequence of characters. Next one is constants. Constants are applicable to the values which do not change during the execution of a program. There are several types of constants in C. Constants are divided into two types. One is numeric constant and another one is character constant. Numeric constant is again divided into two, integer and real constants. Real constant is nothing but the floating point values. And the character constants is divided into two, character constant and string constant. Next one is variable. A variable is used for storing values. It has memory location and can store a single value at a time. And a variable is nothing but a name given to store to a storage area that our programs can manipulate. Rules for defining variables. Variable must begin with a character or an underscore without spaces. We should not give spaces between a variable name, and we cannot start a variable name with numbers. And the length of the variable varies from compiler to compiler. Generally, most of the compilers support 8 characters. So according to ANSI C standard, it recognizes maximum length of 31 characters. But giving short names for variables will be good for writing programs, and it will be easy for the access also. And variable should not be a keyword. Variable names may be the combination of uppercase and lowercase characters. And the variable name should not start with a digit. Blanks and commas are not permitted within a variable name. Next one, variable declaration, syntax for variable declaration, and we can expect a question from this. They will give different declarations and ask us to find which one is correct or which one is wrong. So the syntax is data type, variable name, semicolon is the syntax for declaring a variable in C. For example, int I semicolon or int I comma j comma k semicolon. In this, actually we are instructing the compiler or the CPU to allocate the memory location for the variables we are declaring, and they will calculate the storage as per the data type we are given. And data types. All C compilers support a variety of data types, and this enables a programmer to select the appropriate data type as per the need of the application. And the data types are divided into three. First one is derived data type, second one is basic data type, and the third one is user defined data type. And the derived data types are for pointers, functions, and arrays. These are derived from the basic data types, that is int, float, and double. And the next one is basic data types. Basic data types are integer and floating point, and in the integer we have char and int, and in the floating point we have float, double, and long int. And the next data type is void. Void means nothing. And the last one is user defined data types, for example structure, union, enumeration, and type def. And the table shows various data types and their keywords, format strings, and then range and the size as bytes. So you can expect a question from this. This is very important, so try to remember this, try to study these. So first one is char, and the size is 1 byte, and the range is -128 to 127, and the format string is %C. For unsigned char also, the format string is %C. For short or int, it is %I or %D, and for unsigned int, it is %U. For long, it is %LD, and for unsigned long, it is %LU. And for float, it is %F or %G. And for double, it is %LF, and for long double, it is %LF. So you have to by heart these. So these are the some important points from module 1 in C programming. And if you want more classes like this, kindly subscribe to our channel, and if time permits, I will be uploading the classes of every subject which will be needed for LBS entrance examinations. Thank you.